a how-to and review of Tatsu next on Board Game Addict. Well, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Board Game Addict. I'm your host, Ian C. Glad you could be joining me today for this how-to and review. As you know, in my previous video, we did an unboxing of this game. And so today what we are going to do is I'm going to let you know how to play this game, give you instruction on it, and do a review on the game and let you know what I thought about it. But before we get to that video, I just wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, share this on your favorite social media, hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you want to go that one extra step and see us improve here, you're always welcome to follow the link below to the Buy Me a Coffee page, and that is where you can donate some of your hard-earned cash. As you can see, I've kind of moved things around here. We're in the middle of trying to make this place into a nicer studio and a nice place to play games and to show games, and every little bit helps. So thanks, and then thank you to the person out there who actually purchased this game for me. It was real nice of you. It was real nice of one of my supporters to actually purchase this game for me. So thank you very much for that. And if there's a game out there you want me to play or you want me to review, please leave it in the comment section below. Now, let's learn how to play the game. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit first about the setup of the game, and then we're going to talk about how to win the game and what the rules of the game are. So first, the setup. As you can see, there's a white side of the board and a black side of the board. And basically, you take these green dragons, these are called your green dragons here, and you place them in the 1, 2, and 3 position. Same with the black side of the board. The black has these 3 green dragons. You place them in the 1, 2, and 3 position. And then you place the remainder of your tokens, the remainder of your pieces in this little thing called the tray right here. And it doesn't matter what order that they're in this tray. Over here you can say I've got a green, red, and 3 blues. And over here you can see that they're stacked differently. That doesn't matter at all. Just as you're setting up, the first thing you want to do is put these in the proper position here on the board in the 1, 2, and 3, and only the green dragons go here to start. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to take the black dice and put it on the black side, and take the white dice and put it on the white side. And the person who is playing white will roll the white dice, and the person who is playing black will roll the black dice. And also that's the same with the tokens that are on the board. The person who's playing black will move the black tokens, and then the person who is playing white will run the white tokens. And you have to obviously choose who's going to be white and who's going to be black. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, because how you tell who goes first is by whoever rolls the highest number of dice the first time. So it's not like chess where, you know, if somebody chooses white, then they get to go first, and if somebody chooses black, they get to go second. But this is not work this way. This basically is if white rolls higher and black rolls lower, then white goes first. So also, the black pieces can only move clockwise, and the white pieces can only move counterclockwise. So you can see that you're going to be getting into a clash real quickly here, and that is indicated by the dragons that are represented on the board. You will see that there are 2 dragons, one white dragon and one black dragon, and their heads are facing each other. And basically the white dragon goes towards the head of the dragon out that way, and same with the black, it goes out that way. You can also see on the board that there are these colored spaces, green, blue, red, and each one have 2 for each one, and we'll talk about that in due course. Also, you can see that there are 2 places. There's a front space and a back space. So you'll learn what that means as we kind of learn how the game is played. So we roll the dice, we find out who goes first, and then after you roll the dice, you find out who goes first. Let's just say, for example, black went first because I'm on the black side. You roll each of the dice, and each die is counted as a move. Okay, each die is counted as a move. They are played separately, not together. Now they can count for the same piece, but they have to be played, but they have to be played separately. In other words, I can move one token 6 and 4 times. So I could do this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if I moved here, I would have to move in the back position. You can land on that same thing, but you move on the back position if there's one already in the front position. Okay, or I could move this piece right here. It's fine to jump. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and move this piece 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter, okay? The only thing you can't do is if there are two pieces on the same square, you can't, in let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, I rolled a 4, I could not move that piece to that position. That's already been occupied. I would have to roll other pieces. Okay, so basically these pieces go this way and these pieces go this way, and each die is counted separately. So that person would move one of his tokens 6 spaces, one of his little discs 6 spaces, and one of his little discs 3 spaces, or you can do, again, both, but they count separately. You could go 6 and then 3, no problem. Okay, so let's talk about why we have different colored dragons and what each of them do. So you have your green dragons first, and you have 4 of those, and they're probably the weakest on the board. What they do is they lock another dragon up. They're actually called vine dragons. Okay, so let's say, for example, this person was on this square, and I rolled the appropriate amount, and I'm traveling around, and I get to this position, and I come in behind this other person's piece here. This person can't move if this person's behind him. So basically what I've done is I've entangled this piece, which is good because he might be moving this way to entangle one of my pieces, and I don't want that to happen. So I will entangle his piece. Now he can't move. Okay, now he can't move unless 2 reasons. Unless I move the piece and I just decide to go. All right, so I decide, so let's say in my next roll, I roll, I roll a 1. Well, I roll a 2, so I go 1, 2, okay? Now on his next move, he's allowed to move because I moved out from that position, and I'm no longer entangling him. I'm no longer having him in a bind where he can't move. There's also another way to get out of this bind, and that is by, when you roll, you take the lower die and you burn the upper die. So this one has 4. So now he could escape and go 1, 2, 3, 4, but he doesn't get to play this 6. He doesn't get to move this piece 6 or any of these other pieces 6 times either. Okay, it's just he burns that out. So that's how the green dragon is played. The green dragon locks other players into position, and that becomes important, especially if you have a fire dragon or you have a water dragon and you don't want them to move. And so, if I don't want this piece to move, I'm going to try to get my piece in there behind it so it won't move. Okay, and what I would do to get my piece in behind is that I have to roll 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I rolled a 4, I would move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would move my piece behind it. Now let's say he decides to escape. He rolls a 2 and a 4, and he moves 1, 2. My piece then moves up. Okay, so you always want to play the top row first. You only play the back row if there's a player already in the top row. Otherwise, you play the back row. But as soon as that piece is gone, that piece moves up to allow another piece to come into the back or travel past. Okay, so that's what the green dragons do. Now let's talk about the blue dragons. The blue dragons wash another piece out back to its starting point, back to here. So if, for example, let's say my green dragon was here, and this person had a blue dragon in play, and we'll talk about how to get them in play momentarily, but he can wash my piece back. So if he moves 3, he rolls a 3. Let's say this person rolls a 3 for one of his moves. He would go sorry, a 2. 1, 2. Okay, now he lands on that. Now I have to bring this piece all the way back to my tray. So he's effectively washed me back. Then he's got to move that piece up to the top position. So he's knocked my piece back out of my tray. The red dragons eliminate players altogether. So if I am here and I have my red dragon out, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I happen to roll a 5. I put it behind, and then this piece becomes mine and is taken off the board for the remainder of the game, and vice versa. His dragon gets taken off the board for the his dragon can make one of my dragons, even another red dragon, be taken off the board for the remainder of the game, and he would get to collect that dragon for himself. So that's how the pieces, that's the power of each piece. So the green one locks a piece up, the blue one washes it back, and the red one eliminates it altogether, but you only have 2 red ones. That's going to become important later. So now let's talk about how do you pull more players onto the board if you only have these 3 players and everything else is back in their place here. Okay, so if all of our stuff's back in our place, how do I get more on the board? Well, I have to land on one of these spots. I have to land on one of these spots that have the colors on it. So if I land on a blue spot, so let's just say for example, so I rolled 2. So that would I would make the decision if I rolled 2 on the very first one, 1, 2, I would go 1, 2, and then I would move this player onto the tray, onto the ready tray. You have your back tray and you have your ready tray. Now, in order for this player to get onto the board, I have to roll a 1, 2, or 3 on my next turn. Or if I had rolled a 3, that's fine. So let's say I rolled a 2 and a 3 for this round. I would go 1, 2, pull this on, and then 3 would come up behind there. And I don't wash my own piece out, so that doesn't affect me at all. As a matter of fact, on my next turn, if I rolled a 6, I could start moving this piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it would just take the top position. So that's how you pull players onto the board. So if I'm over here on green, I would move a green one onto the board. Then I have to roll a 1, 2, or 3 in order to pull this onto the board. And you can, I don't know if you can necessarily see because of the tray, but you can certainly see it on the other side, a 1, 2, or 3. And they have to move into those positions. If I'm on the red, I get to move a red piece onto the board, and then I either have to use my other die to, do a 1, 2, or 3, or I have to wait till my next turn to get a 1, 2, or 3 to get those in the 1, 2, or 3 positions. Okay, I hope that's making sense so far. Always consult your rules. Now let's talk about how you win the game. So now that we know what each dragon does, we know how to pull more dragons onto the board. What am I actually trying to do with these dragons? Well, it's actually pretty simple. There are 2 ways to win. The 2 ways you can win is you can eliminate all of one colored dragon. So, for example, the smallest number is the red dragon. They only have 2. So if I eliminate both of his red dragons, or vice versa, I win the game. If I eliminate all 3 of his blue dragons by, going around and making things go and going on one side and him going on the other side, and eventually I get that one, then on my next turn I get that one, then on my next turn I get that one, well, he's lost the game. And same with the green dragons. That's one way to win. That's the primary way to win. The other way to win is to have all the person's tokens, dragons, washed back to where he can't play. Now you can make it a combination. So let's say I have 3 green pieces that I've eliminated with my red dragon, and we're all out here playing and whatever, and I've eliminated 2 blue pieces, but I haven't been able to get all of one piece off the board. But then I go and I wash the rest of his green, and I got one red piece, let's just say that, and he's got 3 pieces on the board, and I am able to wash those pieces out using my blue dragon back to the starting point, not to the tray. He's effectively lost because he really can't move at all. He doesn't have any moves that he can do. So either you get all of one colored of dragon off the board, all the red, all the blues, or all the greens, or you wash them all to the point where he can't play. Now, even if he's got 1 in there, he's still in play. He just would skip a turn. If he couldn't get a 1, 2, or 3 with his roll, he would just skip a turn. But if you effectively wash all the dragons out, or let's say you have some and you wash the rest out, if he can't move, he's basically lost the game. And that's how you play. Those are the rules. They're pretty simple. So let me just do a real mock setup here for just a second and show you. I'll be playing both sides of the board for just 1 second, just so you can see a little bit. I won't play a whole game because a whole game takes sometimes a half hour. But let's see. So I rolled a 4 and a 6. So I would go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would take this piece and move it here. Then I would move my green dragon onto the board here. And I can't pull it onto the board because I've got a 4 there. So I might do 1, 2, 3, 4, move that there, and then move my blue dragon onto the board so that's able to, so now I'm able to bring this out on my next move. So let's say he has a 5 and a 1. If I were him, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would definitely take that to get my green dragon out. And the other one doesn't really matter. I might do, he can only move 1, so he might as well just move that one again, get him closer to this or get him closer to that. And then let's say I move again. I've got a 1 and a 1. Doesn't really do me much good. I do want to get closer to this though, because I want to bring that red dragon out so I can start eliminating players. But it's dangerous because I've only got 2 red dragons, and that's the easiest one to eliminate as well. So I would bring 1, and I would do another 1 right there. Now that entangles his piece. He can't move that piece now unless he doesn't escape or unless I continue to move. So then he rolls, and he does a 3 and a 5. 2, 3. So I would do 1, 2, 3 and bring this blue dragon out here onto the board, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move this here like that. Okay, so then it's this person's turn. A 1 and a 3. Boy, I was really hoping to, let's just say for example I rolled a 2. I would go like that and then wash that guy back there. Okay, then that moves up into my position, and then the 1 would go there. And then this person rolls, and a 3 and a 5. Let's just say he wanted to escape, so he takes the 1, 2, 3, and he burns that 5. He can't use that 5 now, so now it's this person's turn. And it goes on like that. You can see I washed a piece back. Oh, he pulled a 3. I'd probably pull that up. Anyway, that's how the game's played. Pretty simple rules, pretty easy. Hope you have a good time. All right, let's review the game, Tatsu. What did I think about it? Well, overall, more positives than negatives. Okay, more positive than negatives. And the negatives, I'm going to leave up to you to decide whether or not they're truly negatives or whether or not it's just a negative for me. Because sometimes some of the things that I think are negative is not necessarily what everybody who plays games think are negatives. So what are the positives? Well, the positives are that the game flow on this is just amazing. Really, quite honestly, the rules are simple, and so, you know, it just seemed to flow. The game seemed to flow. I was rolling, my opponent was rolling, Ashton, he was rolling, and it just one right after another. It was like boom, boom. I was moving. You pause for a second to count and make the best decision, but for the most part, just right across the board. It wasn't one of those games where we were always trying to consult the rules to find out whether or not we were playing it right, and then even looking at the rules, wondering whether or not we're interpreting the rules correctly. None of that happened. So that was a super positive part of the game. Super excellent game flow. One of those things that could be negative or positive, just depending upon how you look at it, is that it's a lot like backgammon. So if you like backgammon, then you'll like this. If you don't like backgammon, then you won't like this. It seems to ape backgammon to some degree. But it's different enough that it's not like a total copy either. So if you like backgammon, it's good. If you don't like backgammon, then it's not so good. It's real similar to that. So if you have a good time playing backgammon, you'll have a good time playing this. If you have a bad time playing backgammon, you'll have a bad time playing this. What are some other aspects of the game? Well, I will say this. It really just depends upon. It's heavily luck dependent, I would say, rather than strategy dependent. There's a combination of luck and strategy, of course, but the strategy was meaningful and was interesting, but in all, the dice kind of ruled the game when it came to this, and so it was very dice dependent. If you got a good dice roll, then then your strategies would work out. The strategies are really only a matter of how much the dice are really in your favor. One thing that was kind of interesting is, although there are two ways to win the game, I could really only see one way to win the game, and that's eliminating one of your opponent's colors. This idea of washing them all back to the tray so that he can't make any moves it seemed to be really far-fetched. I'm sure that there have been people who've pulled that off, but it really is I would imagine far and few between. I mean, it just seemed like really even though the other way is hypothetically possible, I would say that really the only way to win this game is by eliminating the other person's players. One of the other things that was a little bit frustrating about the game, and this just goes with any game, but I'll let you decide on this, is because you're only allowed to go around the board one way, once you skip a color, like, the dice just didn't go in your favor and you had to, you had to skip a color, you had to wait there until you rolled the appropriate amount of colors to get on one of those colored spaces so that you can pull one of your other pieces out. It was a little frustrating and once you went past it, you couldn't go back because you could only go one way. So if you want to get one of those red pieces out, so you want to land on one of those red circles, and once you go past it, there's no going back. And so you either had to sit and wait it out till you've got the appropriate roll to get close to that to land on it, or you had to go all the way around again. And with more pieces on the board, it's a little easier to make that happen. But I thought of a rule personally that I wish I might actually employ it the next time just to see if it's fun. And here was my rule. Okay, here's my extra rule. And that is, if you roll doubles, you can move back. I think that would be kind of fun to play. So if I rolled like a double six or any double number, I could move back that amount, but I could only use one of those dice. So I thought about that because one time I went past the red dragon and I really wanted another red dragon out on the board, and mine got washed back, and so I wanted to pull my red dragon out so I can start eliminating my opponent's tokens. And then the very next one, I rolled a double two, and I was exactly two places to go back. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be cool if you could go backwards, but only if you rolled doubles? But it doesn't work that way. A double doesn't really mean anything, as far as I know. But always check the rules for yourself. So thank you for watching. Please, again, don't forget to Smash that subscribe button. People say smash these days. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the bell notification. Smash the thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video, please hit the thumbs down button twice. That'll really let me know that you didn't like it if you hit the thumbs down button twice. Don't forget to share this on your favorite social media. These are little steps for you, but it really means a lot to someone like myself who's trying to grow this channel. If you want to go that one extra step in supporting this channel, I'll leave a link to buy me a coffee in the description below. I've been Ian C. You've been watching Board Game Addict, and thank you to the person who bought me this game. You know who you are. You did want to remain anonymous. I'm just glad that there are supporters out there who want to see me play this game. Whatever game you want to see me play, leave it in the comment section below. Perhaps I will be able to pick it up. And again, if you want to do the buy me a coffee thing and purchase one of these games or send me one, let me know. I have my email available over on the information page. All right, so thank you so much, and we will see you again on another episode of Board Game Addict.